need lane support, they're just going to run at you.
Yeah, they will run at you, but if OG can weather the storm, then they're safe and it's going to have huge problems. But that's also why they pick Faces Void, because Faces Void can definitely sustain himself on the safe lane.
Do you think that's how it's going to be, Andy, for MVP? Are they going all in with this early aggression? And yeah, absolutely. I mean, their heroes aren't necessarily good at breaching high ground, so like Winter said, they are very reliant on track hold and winning the lanes. OG round their lineup with the Timbersaw, gentlemen. The panel seems to think OG are going to walk away with maybe a good initiative. Do you agree? I think MVP are feeling pretty comfortable. I'm actually going to go against the grain here and say MVP for game 1. Black?
I think MVP can definitely beat OG, but OG just have this little bit of an edge of an experience.
No, I'm going to go with MVP.
MVP. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we should be able to tune into our casters for our very first TI6 matchup. We have Toby Wan and Merlini. Gentlemen, can you hear me loud and clear?
We definitely can, Dakota. We are so ready to go. OG up against MVP. What a terrific series to also kick off the International 2016.
I'm glad that MVP is going back to the basics. They have their 5 melee brawlers. They were 4-0 with PA in the group stage. Let's continue that streak.
Yeah, I want to see it. MVP, we've seen them on the main stage before. Sometimes they turn away from the team fights. This time they've embraced the spirit that is MVP. And they'll do it up against OG. OG panel was saying it, both the fun and the draft panel, they were all looking to say OG, they're the favorites coming into this series, but MVP, draft panel kind of lent towards them. They're stuck with the brawlers. Have they got enough to bring down OG at least 1, maybe 2 games in this best of 3?
I think with this draft, yes. In the group stage, they picked a lot of non-QO heroes. I think he's kind of like the embodiment of aggression with the heroes that he plays, Slark, PA, PL, just heroes that can be in your face all the time. And then they picked them some Timbersaw here and there, which didn't quite seem up his alley. They picked them a Tinker, which they lost, and we saw the Alchemist made out from OG, which he also played a couple of times during the group stage, but I think the PA is really his hero.
Yeah, it's just that kind of burst and also momentum shifting hero that MVP can bring into the fights. What do you think about the overall draft? There's very few teams that come out and run a full 5 melee lineup.
Yeah, it's very risky, especially when you have all this AoE from the Earth Spirit and the Bat Rider. Like, Napalm's going to be a huge issue, not to mention the last pick, Timbersaw. I think this is kind of an ideal Timbersaw game. Maybe not as many strength.
The contest for the top rune, the Iron Shell's already up. MVP's going to go in. Dubu, heavy damage early on, but the double Iron Shell's burning down Fly. The first one to drop is going to be SP, a 1-for-1 trade-off. But really, MVP, have you bitten off more than you can chew? Baby has to make a run for this. As a bounty hunter, he can't go in for another 5 seconds. But he'll bail out. The runes still end up going the way. In fact, both bounty runes went the way of MVP into the hands of Faces Void as well as the PA. Bebby, Orb of Venom just harassing Crypt back out again. He's going to control up this jungle nicely.
They're very reliant on the Ion Shell this game, and OG drafted potentially 2 ways to get rid of the Ion Shell with the Demonic Purge and a Diffusal Blade Carrier in the Juggernaut. You can tell OG, they're prepared. All these early game clarities, they're grouping up around the runes, just expecting this level of fighting. We already see a charge on bottom from Dubu. See if he gets as lucky with the bashes.
It seems to be more of a zone out kind of thing. Moon is going to have a real good time up against MP. As we said, melee versus Sticky Napalm is always going to favor the Bat Rider, which should be checking middle lane as the Sentry Ward down for crit. They're going to see Bebby boulder forward. QO will take it for the Bounty Hunter, and they're both going to move back out again. This time around, they don't have that Iron Shell damage they had around the top room fight, because they have to give space to OG.
These 2 heroes are still level 1. They're still trying to kill people. It's going to be a problem once Reactive Armor gets up on Miracle 2. Let's see if he picks up level 2 at level 3, but if that happens, I'm not exactly sure where Febby's going to go.
You made this a survive lane? Well, Febby will get rid of the Sentry Ward, so he's freer to move in the mid lane. No extra Sentry over on crit. In fact, it's Fly who's holding on to the other 2 Sentries at the moment. But they still have to keep tabs on where this Bounty Hunter is moving. And the Bounty, one of those rare times as well, where he doesn't have a jungle he can just leech experience off. Not until they can make Moon abandon the bottom lane and start stacking up inside the jungle for him.
I don't know if he's going to leave. I don't think he needs to. As the draft panel mentioned, like, they don't have a good zoning support at all. Spirit Breaker's okay, but he has no easy way to get rid of the Sticky Napalm.
Top rune, Iron Shell's going to prep up. What's the bit? It's going to be a bounce on rune early, so no big damage from a crit. Didn't actually boulder out. The SB's on his way in. It's a long charge back underneath the tier 1 tower, but it's already done. The Darkseer finds the extra kill, and Dubu will run away, so 2-2 on the board.
And and OG have invested some many in sentries, but maybe not enough. MVP are winning the ward battle in the mid lane at the moment, and Dubu's there for the charge just in case.
Casey can help out, make sure those middles get secured, also keeps the vision up. He's going to charge back down the bottom lane, so MP doesn't really have a lot to play around with. Like, he's a stick charge, no points up in time lock, instead it's time dilation he's trying to play up against Moon with. So Moon will turn for the sticky napalm, MP with the opening. They've only got Febby running on the front lines. Advantage for MVP as there was no observer wards in this area. By the movements of Febby, you might have expected OG to go in for Roshan.
Now they have the Dezo on the PA, so a lucky crit can easily blow up the Earth Spirit or Shadow Demon who don't have that much armor. Shadow Demon in particular who doesn't have Tranquils.
Is that what MVP should also be looking to do in every single fight? Like get QO into the back line of OG?
He has to be a little bit careful because if Blind makes illusions of the PA with a Soul Catcher and ult, then he might actually be in a little bit of trouble. So wait until Shadow Demon is like in a bad position. He can easily get caught out by the AoE. You don't need QO to eliminate the Shadow Demon. You just really need Darkseer and Faceless Void to get at least 2 heroes, I would say. It should be 3 with the vacuum though.
MVP uses scan, expecting maybe OG to flank around them. There's an invis rune for Miracle. They don't understand that Timberstore is standing in the middle of their team. Now the Chakram, well off target, however. Miracle just chaining himself away to safety as MVP once again. They were grouping up for a full 5-man fight, and they just don't see the opportunity for initiation until now. 4-man smoke. They're looking for an opening. A charge will come first. Who does he find? He's going all the way up again towards the Juggernaut. While Chris caught out of position, he's able to get the double silence. And then Boulder himself away. The fight splits up. Darkseer Wall is keeping a lot of them away, and Crit just isolated from the rest of his team. Miracle will stand in front of the tower. But again, he's just playing that bait game. Dubu waiting for his next charge target. With no Earth Spirit down, there's no silence to dissuade the Faceless Void from going in.
MVP is trying to lure them back to their Observer Ward. They have Observer Ward in the river, and they don't necessarily want to fight deeper, closer to T1, where OG actually have Observer Ward. They need the Faceless Void to catch them by surprise.
They're running so low on mana without the Darkseer Wall. Is this even still worth sticking around? That's the decision that MVP is faced with.
Maybe not when Earth Spirit's back up. He just respawned, but they need to wait for OG to come to them. And OG don't have the greatest Roshan lineup, so MVP, they're safe to leave the pit.
OG actually slip it and do Roshan. There's a big creep wave up on top that MVP is going to go and take care of.
It's just Jug. Timbersaul's like okay at tanking, but it would just take far too long. And if OG's heroes are missing, they've been fighting a fight the entire game. As soon as 5 heroes go missing on the map, you know that they're either going to smoke ink them, which MVP are okay with, because they're the ones that are actually looking to fight, or they're doing rogue.
As to the rune for QO for the next fight, holding on to the haste rune as he's going to farm up the top, brings him closer towards that BKB.
And it was an early gen pickup on Crit, so he got pretty rich off that last fight, but not choosing to go for the early Blink Dagger. And this could be a risky proposition. FP's already been dying a decent amount, but maybe looking to go for the long game and get those items up in case they don't want to invest thousands and thousands of gold on sentries.
It's kind of one of those fun games as well for Crit. Normally this guy's got a very early veil, but he has to spend the money on the gem. With the 0.511 KDA, you can understand why. So there's so much money over on Miracle, you can say goodbye to the Observe Ward in the bottom river. All the money in the world rolling in, still holding on the 15 Bloodstone charges for the Timbersaw. But MVP, very nicely split, continues to farm until the next item progression.
They're not really getting too much money on the Spirit Breaker. Ideally, you'd Midas, I would say, on him at this point. Like, you'll have track goals, and then you'll have Midas, and you're going to die in most of these fights. He is the fluffiest tank that they have on the side of MVP.
Every time I watch Miracle move, there's 3 OG players just a stone's throw behind him. And now OG actually leaving Miracle on the back lines. It's Moon to the front lines. They put a hit there. She put the Gem of Truth right now over on him. And the jump! The jump on Crit! They're looking for a 3-man kick! Crit by a creative space for Miracle to do some lifting with the last 2. They hold MP there. He can't time walk away. He can't chrono. He makes a 1-for-1 trade-off. Febby also no way out. QO will TP. Barely in the nick of time. 2-for-1 trade-off. MVP should be counting their lucky stars. They get away with only 2 deaths. But now OG to make a break for Roshan. The healing ward's available, so this should be easy for him.
Rider recovers the gem, and crit might be 0 and 6, but it doesn't really matter. He got a 3-man stun right there, and the more important part is they're putting Faces Void in a really difficult position. Like, he doesn't want to chrono a solo Earth Spirit. He doesn't want to chrono Spirit a Timbersaw who's out in front, but they don't have vision in the back.
They're coming to contest, but Miracle's going to break the smoke. He was waiting for this smoke maneuver. And he's the man who's probably the tankiest of all of OG. They come in and whoa! He got 3 on the cliff! Doobie will catch up with the Dark Sea back. Doobie will fly, and he'll get him. Now Q1 jumps up Trump battle up against Notel. The shot from Miracle trying to help out his core. It won't be enough. Q1 finds another. Now the Phantom strike down over towards Crit as well. Q1, he's so low on life. He'll go down. OG, they were contested. Chris on a healthy man. MP with the help of the bounty. They find that kill. Miracle, now time lock in the river. Chrono is still available. Time walk up, they could do it. Roshan only at 1/3 of his life. They have the Dark Steel wall. The problem is, without the PA, they don't have the damage to kill off Roshan.
And Roshan is a death trap for OG. I guess that, and for MVP too. You don't really want to fight into the Bat Rider and the Timbersaw there, but I like the way that Timbersaw was out in the front, just making sure the MVP could not catch him by surprise. And he popped the smoke, but they still got this beautiful initiation.
That was absolutely wonderful. You can see them trying to help out. The Flamebreaker at least puts Dubu down, but... And that Spirit Breaker, he was picked for one solid reason, and that was to cause chaos with MVP. And with combination of the Dark Seer, it worked perfectly.
And I remember just last TI, that same exact position where CDEC used that on their way to victory.
I like to see it time and time again if we have more of that. The BKB is done, so the strength of MVP's team fight is going to get better.
Wow, he's gotten a lot of farm since his Desolator. I'm surprised, especially considering that he died that last fight. Pretty quick BKB to follow up.
While Miracle's progression's not really going that far apart from Bloodstone charges.
And more importantly, no tail.
I say that when he's still so far in front of the network. But Miracle now caught out in the tree line. The charge forward with a time lock. They need a hold, and they bring him down. Huge amount of money. They move on the crit. Duo's already got 890 gold and no tail. Locked in. Crit wants to run away, but he gets fly as well. Triple kill for Duo. Omni flash it up. No tail will appear over next to MP, but another time lock. Another crit, and it's a hit for the Faces Void. MVP, a huge fight for them, and this is the big one. They keep the PA alive, so now they can go for Roshan. Miracle, he will try and be a problem child, and the blank up. QO gets clipped by Moon. He needs a way to jump down. He's waiting for it. Stifling dagger, still Phantom Strike, actually on cooldown. He missed the timing for it. Miracle being pumped down a little bit further by the bat. Roshan, it does go the way of MVP with the Aegis Immortal into the hands of PA.
Miracle thinking that he's Superman. He didn't actually pop the Lotus Orb early enough that fight, and he's got bashed out.
This jump, MVP as well, like not just settling for one. You think up against a team like OG, you might be so scared that you're gonna say like, let's just take one and be happy with that. MVP, the lead Chrono, gets the second one. They can understand. It's just get as much as you can out of every single fight.
Do you see that crit? It took him down like, it took him down 70% of his HP.
That's the beauty of PA, MVP. Like they're the only team at TI so far that's had real success with it. And
now
there's the swing.
All it takes is a couple fights, Toby.
That it does. We still haven't even thought about like the effect the Bounty Hunter has had on this game. He continues to get a lot of tracks off during the fight, staying alive through a lot of it as well. And all this money just rolled in for MVP. Like we talked about the BKB only just being done by Kuro getting a lot of money. Now he's got a Basher coming out in the Courier too. So you're getting extra chances. We already had like the Bash Swords of SB and Faces Void. Now you're going to add PA to the mix.
And on top of that, the Bounty Hunter, he like forces OG to make some crucial economic decisions too. Shadow Demon continuously has to invest in the Sentry Wards, and the Bat Rider's not playing as aggressively as normal because he doesn't want to lose a gem. So they can't play like they want to.
MVP are coming. Miracle is the only man for OG to protect this tier 3 tower. Quick side dilation. The basket, the top headlock. Miracle, he has to imitate himself away from Dubu. Charge forward. He's got the one door protect the QA again. Three-man wall. Fly as well. Bashed up, critted up. Dubu will get the double kill. And now no buyback for both the SD as well as the Timber. This could be a top rising at the moment. The only chance for a counter is Dota on the bottom lane to push that tier 3, but he needs to come home. The Timber is up in 11 thanks to that Bloodstone. But MVP, they take down the melee rack, they'll take the range as well. MVP, they have just won 2 great fights, maybe 3.5 in a row, and then claim the first rack here on the main stage.
OG, it seemed like they made the necessary preparations to deal with MVP's aggression, but I think a couple of decisions in the mid-game like really proved to be their downfall. I think one in particular is the Battle Fury on Juggernaut. Like this is not a farming game. It might be good to get your farm up, but how often have they been split up? How often is MVP like not running at you as 5? There's like almost 50 kills at this point in the game, and a fighting build like PA could have also gone for Battle Fury, but she went for the fighting build. Blast on the Faces Void 2. BKBs coming out all around, and now Juggernaut's be very, very fragile.
And fragile Juggernaut is not what you want to have. They need to find OG the better initiations. That's what gave them the confidence in the first 10 minutes. They always had vision of MVP moving across the map. They were able to set themselves up properly. They read MVP's movements, the smokes, the scans, everything was on point. Right now, Dire observe what they got 1 on the bottom lane, and that's all. They hardly see the movement of OG. Not that this movement is that hard to read. There's still 2 bottom towers available for MVP to take, and if OG want to fight this, they have to get it right. And the vision on that high ground, Fly will take care of that. Tier 2 on tower is already going to drop, and OG is preparing for defense.
It looks like they're going in soon. They had the defuse on Juggernaut. Pretty good versus the time dilation. Although I think it would have been better if it came out earlier, because then Tempestal wouldn't have to build a Lotus Orb. He could actually go for more armor, so he can deal with and tank the PA.
At least he's got the casual plate knowledge over with his Lotus Orb. So there's QO picked up, Boom found the initiation. Remember, QO still has an Agassi Mauler for Rev, trying to make a little bit of space. He's waiting for it. Let the Agassi Mauler trigger before he goes to the back wall combo. Miracle takes half the life of QO. A quick, careful of the Stifling Dagger. We said he was fragile. One Stifling Dagger almost removes half of his life. Miracle, again the front line, that's getting it fast. Stifling Dagger with Chrono. They caught no tail on the back line. They're looking for the kill. Crit the charge from Dubu. 5 passing the Chrono. They're looking for the back support. The wall will split this fight up. Duo is just so big. He's ripping apart the back line of OG. Boom will join him. Snowcast trying to create some help, but the Omni Slash did practically nothing. They group up together. Now the ball is forward. MVP. Now they've gone a little bit too deep themselves. QO will drop almost 1,000 gold for his death, going the way of Crit. And Miracle is looking for the kill on Dubu as well. Swirling death, Timber Chain. It looks almost too easy. Crit with a double kill from the kick. While all that's going on, remember, MVP are still a rack up. But that's a good fight for OG.
Only a good way to start. And I like the zoning Chronosphere coming out from MP. They decided to Chrono the 2 farm heroes and then just go for everyone in the back. I guess that's a way you can make a 5 melee lineup work with Chronosphere. Don't fight in it.
Problem is when the Chronosphere wears off and then the cores come back, you've got the kills on the support, so you've got nothing else to throw.
They also need to make sure that they deal with the lasso. If they didn't have the Aegis that fight, they would have just had to turn tail and run immediately after the lasso. The Lotus Orb is a start. I think like Lotus Orb and actually slow sieging might be okay, but then again, that's not really what MVP's style is.
No, it's not. It's all about run, and then run some more.
If they could trap 2 bounty hunters, they definitely would.
Only track could stack. As OG now, they're going to 4-man smoke up, running straight down the mid lane. And Dire, okay, they're scanning over towards Ancients. They're expecting MVP to farm this. Heavy is just on the edge of it, but he's not triggering the scan.
Oh, MP.
Oh, he's just jumped himself in. Can they find the kill in time? He's still got time watch available, but MP, no. Crit's too good on the Sun House. The charge is coming forward, but MVP, they really want to fight this. Crit, he boulders himself into 4 heroes. Testing defensive disruption. They can do MVP, can't find the kill and move on to the next one. It's Crit, the back lines, the back, into the wall again. Miracle is caught in the middle of the line. It won't be a bad catch. Not when Dubu splits the QR! He finds the Crit, and then they move to Miracle. They need the back and in control. Lotus Orb helping Miracle for the moment. They stifling. He jumps back in again. There's your first back. Where's your control? Dubu's going to bring in another charge forward. 3 down for OG. It might be 4 for Miracle. It's just still so damn tanky. And Dubu has to be careful around that. They can find the other core. This Moon. 5 flying himself over the hill. QO. Bashing. fight somehow, but it's basically 9k on 5 at the moment. He'll load his little pivot chain away. The chakram damage. Dubu was low. Changed up in 1 second time. Down to the bastion. Miracle can't get away. QO again. Finding the crit. Finding the kill. Then OG lose everything.
You can see why they're one of the few teams that continuously pick Spear Breaker. He kind of acted like a Faceless Void there, just controlling everyone in the fight. Great charges and healing himself up. He was like critical AC, earned himself, and just went right back in.
Dream fights again coming the way of MVP. 14,000 is the net worth advantage. Even if the experience is going to be closer, the money bank is just being fueled of MVP. Track kill after track kill. And they can look for a second rack. They won't be able to get it this time around unless they force a big fight. Chrono is still available. You don't have the Dark Steel wall, but it's only 8 seconds on cooldown. They start the damage up. Bat Rider will arrive.
They're really struggling against the BKB of MVP Phoenix right now. This is where like the Juggernaut needs to come in with all the physical damage. He's trying to build an MKB right now, and he's just seems like he's a little bit behind in terms of items. And I don't think he can buy MKB at this point. He needs a buyback.
If that's the situation you face, I need a buyback to try and survive.
Yeah, in the network chart, he's not looking so hot too. He's number 4, like well behind the PA at this point, who is doing the most of the work of the physical damage on MVP's team. Well, OG around the secret shop. They have wards. Top lane is getting pushed in. MVP have pinged it out. They know what's going on.
Yeah, and they ping perfectly that MVP is going to try and come in from the left side. It could have been an attempt for Roshan, but Roshan's not available yet, and they put Febby on the front line. Now OG have picked up a new gem, but Febby already broke the smoke before he came in range of the gem, who is being carried on the Bat Rider. So Dubu, they just sent the tank forward, loaded him up, and the double stun for Red Corpnet. The Chrono to be the flame breaker, he's pushing Dubu back out again, but the only slash to find the kill. But where is your follower? Miracle is controlling the moon in the tree line. QO and MP will follow him down. The good play charge on Perez means the Juggernaut can chase him into the tree line as well, but the Dark Steel wall makes it very, very difficult to fight. As they play Ringer Rosie, MP comes back in and no tell. Isolated around MVP. Miracle, the sole survivor, TP's home. They lost their tier 4 tower thanks to the creep wave in, but let's see that initiation again.
I like how they sacrificed Fugu. All he had is like shreds at this place. Like, whatever, we'll throw a Lotus Storm on you. You go in there, you get some vision for us. And they always have their like unimportant heroes up front. And then they eliminate the 2 supports pretty quickly. They got a wall onto No Tail near the end, and QO is just wrecking in these fights.
It didn't even seem like the perfect initiation. The Chrono Sphere at the same time as Darkseid was trying to go for his back wall.
It's their whole strategy. It's good enough.
Yeah.
We'll win a few fights with Bounty Hunters. Good enough.
And that just shows how far MVP are ahead in
Their
their game.
teamwork is really phenomenal, though, with a lineup that's extremely difficult to answer.
The kick, nice on QO. They need to keep him control. The BKB helps him break free. Well, MP. There goes SD down again. They move over to Crit. Debbie's back. It's over on the side. Maybe Crit. Where's your damage? Where is your escape? MP still under the cover of the BKB. Will move forward over towards Mookie. The Bat Rider out. This game in a back. A 3-man wall. No time being pushed through it too. Heal drop. Miracle. He just needs to do some damage, but he can't finish QO. QO will jump up. He'll kill Fly all over again. And GG. The game is over. MVP in a 70-kill, 39-minute game. Take game number 1 in this best-of-3 quarterfinal.
MVP played like refined cavemen that game. I like their self-described philosophy on how to approach the game.
And these cavemen learned how to use fire. A terrific performance from MVP.